Hello and welcome into the Hogs Happy Hour here on Four Star Sports Media Network. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for taking time out of your day, your evening, or if you're watching the recording, thanks for watching that back through. As always, if you're ready for the big game and ready to score a touchdown with your ticket purchase, use promo code Four Star Sports Media on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first order. Do not miss out on the action. Grab your tickets today and save. And fellas, I just have one question: are y'all entering the transfer portal? I'm just trying to make sure no
No,
one else.
no, I'm remaining committed to Caldwell Elementary. Um, they have not increased my pay, uh, and no one else offered to pay me any more than what I'm making now. So I will be uh, remaining firm as a Benton Panther.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. As long. Well, do you have any playing time left for the bowl game? Because I mean, with your, you might be able to play some DB or safety or something.
Um,
I might have to play guard out there.
I was going to, but this afternoon I was running laps around my gym with my kids and felt my calves start to cramp up. So it's been recommended I drink a lot more water, and I refuse. So
Yeah.
that it doesn't seem I'm questionable at best for the bowl game.
Yeah. All right. Well, guess what? Arkansas, we love playing in the Liberty Bowl, and that is where we got selected to play on Sunday. Not much of a surprise to any true Arkansas fan. And it's nothing against the Liberty Bowl itself. I mean, the Liberty Bowl itself, it's a great bowl. It's just, I think some Arkansas fans are probably tired of going there. I mean, it's a it's a great bowl location wise for Arkansas fans because it's just right across the river there, and there's a lot of fans in the northeast Arkansas area or even Little Rock. It's not too far of a drive from Little Rock to head on over to Memphis. We will be playing to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Should be a interesting game based off of who's transferring out. It's going to be interesting to see a updated depth chart if they even do one, because there's a lot of we'll get into the transfer portal later, but there's a lot of key players that are leaving. So, Ashton, are you excited for this bowl game?
Um, Not really, but it's bowl season, and I think any normal fan would say, if you're just a fan of sports, although a lot of people are really starting to get kind of turned off to um, collegiate sports, especially college football, the way the transfer portal is working. But most people during this time of the year are going to sit down. They're going to watch the bowl games. They're going to watch the teams like I think one of the first games played is something like Western Michigan or Central Michigan
Yeah.
against
Hmm.
somebody. And schools like that, I will say that they desperately need those bowl games. That's time
Yep.
for exposure for those guys. I mean, are they big money programs? No, but they put in the work, and it's an opportunity for those guys to be seen by professional scouts, other college teams. So yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit excited. Am I excited about
Yeah.
our bowl game? Not 100%, but I mean, just like any other Razorback fan, I want us to win the bowl game.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I don't feel confident that we will win the bowl
Yeah.
game right now.
Yeah. All right, Jason. If you, I think I got it working now. You should be able to hear and talk to us now. So, Jason, are you excited for the Liberty Bowl? I know you've gone the past couple of times we went. I'm looking around here. I'm seeing these rally towels that you brought me from Kansas State uh, and from who was it? Eastern Carolina the other time. And
Yeah, that one time I ended up in the student section somehow.
yeah, well, hey, those tickets are expensive, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, am I excited? I mean, it's kind of like lukewarm. I'm excited that we are going to a bowl game, but the Liberty Bowl is great, but it's a lower tier bowl. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
that's we got two more wins than last season, but that's not saying a lot.
Yeah.
We'll be interested to see what players we can assemble to play in the bowl game. I think we're down to what 6 or 7 offensive linemen.
Yeah, or at least six decent ones. And I mean, there's
Then
some walk-ons out there, but
our
only 10 of those.
wide receivers, tight ends are non-existent. Uh, be be nice to see what we can throw together on defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So, want to go into let's talk about the transfer portal. I'm not going to name. I mean, I could name the names, but I would be here prior to about 6:30 if I did. But we're just going to name the key ones: Kudus, Isaiah Satania, Luke Has, Addison Nichols, Nico Davier. Dylan has also entered the transfer portal. Who else am I missing? Uh,
Dallas Young,
yeah, Braxton.
Jalen Braxton.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I saw Selman Bridges withdrew his name from
yeah,
the portal.
yeah.
Braylon
And
withdrew his name. You
Braylon
got
was in,
Josh.
out, in, out.
You got Josh
Yeah.
Braun. Josh
Oh yeah,
Braun's in the
Josh
portal,
Brown.
and then Addison Nichols. You may have already said his name
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's more in there. I think what 23 maybe now are in the portal. But
Yeah,
those are the key one. Again, Bridges announced he's coming back today, and uh, that's good for the bowl game because you're gonna need some at least some defensive backs back there.
and, losing Brad Spence late that hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Dix decided to come back today. Taylon Green
yeah,
announced he's coming back today, which I
yeah.
don't I don't think there's any doubt that Taylon would not come back, but I guess you have to put it out there.
Hmm.
Jaquindon Jackson announced he's getting ready for the draft, so I don't think he's going to be at the bowl game.
I don't think so either.
So Landon Jackson's getting ready for the draft, which that last play he had against Mizzou was scary. So I think it was well advised for him not to play in this bowl game.
Yeah,
But Pittman had a press conference today. Let me get these notes here, and he he was kind of fired. If you watched it, he had a little bit of energy behind him. I guess that new hip really does help out.
Or it could be his
He's
hurt 30s.
yeah, yeah. He said he can walk. I think 20 yards without a walker. So hey, it's better than I guess sitting in the booth all game. But he was asked about the roster. He said it's basically kids go for better opportunities, more money. Notes that Arkansas has money and is not losing kids because of that. But then he also says the value of players is sometimes less here than other places, and other schools come up with more. So to me, it is about money. I mean, he kind of contradict himself there with what he said. Basically, Arkansas has X amount of money, and another school offers more than what they are willing to offer, and they leave. It's basically it's a free agency period. He said that he and the staff decided to spend more money on portal guys than keeping the current guys around from a 6-16. Notes that some players in the portal might return because they did not get the offers they were expected to, but doesn't see any of them playing in the bowl game since practice starts this Friday. So that big list of players, they could come back. I don't, if you follow any recruiting, Kudus is going to Ole Miss.
hmm
Um,
probably at least.
Yeah, Braxton's probably going to Ole Miss. Um,
Hmm.
so I don't. It was. I think it was you that sent me that tweet about someone tweeted out that we're Ole Miss's farm team, and Lane Kiffin happened to retweet it, but then he deleted that retweet.
Yeah,
So
he deleted it, but um, he's not necessarily wrong right now. I mean,
no.
we are feed well, and you know what, Blake? In all honesty, in all honesty,
Mhm.
the thing is there's a lot of schools right now that are the farm team for Ole Miss. They are
Yeah,
just buying up players
yeah,
left and right.
Yeah, LSU. They just this morning got a transfer from LSU, edge rusher. There's another LSU player visiting, I think, this weekend.
But I will tell you this, and y'all will probably agree with me, and a lot of people would probably agree with this. If you're going to keep spending money the way they do on transfers in the portal, you better come up with something better than what did they finish 9-3?
Yeah,
Better come up with
yeah,
something better than 9-3 if you're going to
yeah,
spend that much money on players.
yeah. That's what I think. Honestly, Ole Miss probably very well underachieved this year. Especially lose if they did not lose to Florida, they're probably in the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of questionable there, but just don't know.
Right?
Um, Sam would go on to say he said he would rather pay more guys less than overpay for one guy. So basically, like he said, he wants to get the cheap player, the cheap player that's somewhat decent. He said he said it a lot in the press conference. We have money. He kept saying that. He said we're a 6-6 football team and we have money, but we need to use it wisely. They said they have 29 visits already set up for players in the portal. Said he expects to sign anywhere from 20 to 23 players in the portal,
Gosh, that's
and
crazy.
15 of those will be pretty soon.
Yeah,
So,
that's crazy to even think about. To think that every year, I mean, think about it. I
mm,
mean,
mm,
uh, I don't. You think about this is do you have this problem if you are a top 12 team right
yeah,
now? No. Will they have transfers? Yes.
mm,
But the thing is, a lot they hang around in hopes that they'll get that ring if they win it all.
mm,
But as soon as,
yeah,
like, for example, a team like SMU, if SMU loses out first round, the very next day you may have 15 dudes hit the portal. You know what I mean?
mm, yeah,
Um, or they've got a system set up to where the majority of the guys stick around and they're building from what they have, and maybe
mm,
they add a piece or two. I think it's difficult to be successful every single year when you're adding a new 15 to 25 players or pieces to fit into a system that they've never been in before. And everybody keeps saying, well, Arkansas is going to be better next year because we'll be under year 2 of Bob Petrino's offense and year blah 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 of T. Will's defense. But the thing is,
yeah,
you can keep the same you can keep the same coordinator every year all you want.
mhm,
The problem is you're going to have new players every year to teach the
yeah,
system to.
yeah, yeah.
That
They,
that
yeah. I said
so you got
they
to have to
always,
have you're going to have a guy that comes in
mhm,
and immediately a coordinator or a coach or
mhm,
players immediately come in and and it works now.
yeah,
Not that you go 6-6 this
mhm,
year and hope that you win 7 or 8 next year because you got a
yeah,
whole new team.
mhm,
So how
yeah,
how can you even assume you're going to win 6 or 7 next year? You have no idea what you'll be able to do
mhm,
next year. No Arkansas fan, the normal Arkansas fan, and even maybe you're more than average Arkansas fan. We don't know who these kids are. Who
no,
sat down and watched? Like, for example, Blake, and
mhm,
uh, we have a couple guys that we're looking at from Fresno State at receiver. How many games of Fresno State do you watch this year?
no, none.
So
Not
I
good.
don't know anything about these
Yeah,
guys.
mhm,
So I could say, oh, he's a 3-star in the portal, but I can't confidently say that he's going to come in and make a huge impact for the Razorbacks because I don't know.
yeah.
So
It's Yeah, that's what they say. Year two of a coordinator is usually their best year because it's the same guys and the same system for the second year. But this day and age of college football, that's not the case. And they say Bobby Petrino's system's not easy to learn. Uh, those linemen that have left, you it's hard to build. The hardest thing to me is to build a offensive line through the portal because the offensive line they have to play together, x amount of games in order to become one unit. And I mean, it's fine if you got to replace one player, but if you're replacing 3 to 5 offensive linemen, that's not a good recipe.
right,
That's
yeah,
that's why like some of your best offensive lines are usually seniors that've been on the same team for 3 4
Mhm.
years.
Yeah, and And Kudus, I'm not. I don't know how y'all feel, but he said in an interview in March last year that he hates Ole Miss. He said, he said I was born to hate Ole Miss, and then he told Pittman, "Yeah, if you redshirt me, I'll come back." Pittman did him a favor, and now he's gonna go to our major league team over there in Ole Miss.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know, to uh, Jason's point, you go look back at these successful teams all throughout collegiate, college football history. A lot of these teams that aren't very good for 5 or 6 years and all of a sudden are really good out of nowhere. You look at the roster and as he said, it's kind of like a senior heavy football team. Okay, go back to Sam Pittman's second year. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
pretty well top heavy senior led team, and I think we won
Yeah,
8 9 games.
yeah, mm-hmm.
Um, and now you can bring in juniors and seniors that are transfers, but they haven't been in the program
Mm-hmm.
for 3 or 4 years, and it's not the same as someone who's been there since they were a freshman or a sophomore.
Yeah,
And
mm-hmm.
you've built year after you're starting over. You're just starting over, and
Yeah,
so that's why I've said repeatedly, if you're going to start over every single year, then you got to bring in a coach who has a little bit of life and charisma with him that embraces that system and can get the very best out of his players in a short amount of time.
yeah,
And I just
mm-hmm.
don't feel like we're getting that as Razorback fans. Do we want that? Again, I'm sitting back. I'm keeping my mouth shut until football season.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
I'm going to hope for the very best for Sam Pittman. But I saw the schedule. You saw the schedule.
mm-hmm.
This year coming up is
Yeah,
brutal. We are playing,
yeah,
and we're playing everybody short of the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay,
yeah. That's
it's
bad.
crazy.
Yeah, that SEC podcast pretty much said we have the hardest schedule
We
because
100% have the hardest schedule.
yeah, and it's with a failing coach with players who might not want to be there but didn't have nowhere else to go type situation. I mean I don't know. Um, uh, Jason, do you have any? Can you play tight end or something like receiver,
Um,
tight end?
I can
Can
maybe
you
do
catch the ball?
punter, but I could probably do punter, but that's a position we don't need help in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Maybe I could long snap.
They are fairly protected players.
yeah,
I saw somebody talking about when they released the post. U of A released the
Poster for the Liberty Bowl. Somebody said, "Dang, they put the whole team on that poster, and they only had like 3 players on it."
yeah. They were like, yeah. You remember Cal? He goes, I went to go talk to the team, and there was no team. That's what they said. That's what Pittman was going to come out the hospital.
That's funny. I like that. That's
So,
good.
so,
That is funny.
yeah. Now, since Russell's from your neck of the woods, what's the thoughts on him like entering and then line to rivals, and then basically I don't. It was what was it yesterday? No, Tuesday. It was like back and forth. He was
Yeah.
entering but not entering.
Yeah. So kind of being doing what I do. I won't say just too
Yeah,
much, but
yeah,
it was definitely a weird situation. Um, I think when a lot of people heard that he was going into the portal, I think a lot of people weren't surprised based off of some things, and I won't
yeah,
just anyways.
yeah,
They weren't surprised, but when he withdrew from the portal, I think you, me, and most Razorback fans in the country clearly understood him getting out of the portal. What that insinuated, most likely, he got paid some money, is
yeah,
probably what it was. Now I can't prove that, so
yeah.
I don't want to say that's
Mm-hmm.
100% a fact, but that would be a very good assumption in these days and times when it comes to the portal. When a guy goes into the portal and then comes back immediately, someone got paid,
Mm-hmm.
most likely.
Yeah.
It's very
Mm-hmm.
similar to a coach who goes to a job interview, and then like the very next day there's
Yeah.
a contract extension from his previous school. and he doesn't.
Yep.
And so he used it. He used it for leverage. That coach did.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yep.
seems like Russell was using his the transfer portal, which a lot of these kids are doing, by the way. They're using the portal as leverage to get more money. And Blake, wouldn't you do the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like what the Tulane coach said. You know, his name was up for these jobs, and he goes, "Well, if a newspaper offered you three times the money, would you go?" You know, I mean, yeah, I would go. I'm not an idiot.
right. Yeah,
But
it's. I mean, let's just call it what it is. And I appreciate what I forget what coach came out and just flat out said it. Um, oh, it just I can't remember. I wish I could see
is probably the Colorado State coach with the
someone
agents.
that basically someone
Yeah.
said, let's call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop beating around the bush and let's call it what it is. What it is it's a free agency pool. These are no, it is no longer collegiate athletics. This is semi-pro football. Okay, this is basically the minor leagues for the NFL. All right. So if that's going to be the case, we need to start getting some contracts drawn up for these kids. We need to get some things drawn up along the lines of if you don't get this many yards, you don't get this amount of money. If you get this amount of yards, you get this bonus on top. If you play
Mm-hmm.
for a national championship, you get this much more money. You get a bonus. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens for college coaches. If you win 8 games, you get an extra $100,000. That's what they start doing for kids. And then if you don't do that, you don't get this money. Now you get a certain guaranteed amount, but then if you do this, you get this much more. I mean,
Yeah.
give them a reason to play. Give
Mm-hmm.
them a reason.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, what was
and
it?
then say, hey, if you come to Arkansas and you stay a second year, you can stay for more than 1 year without going to the portal. We'll give you a bonus right off the bat for staying that
Mm-hmm.
second year and not going into the portal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you need to do. And so let's stop beating around the bush and say it's not what it is, because this is what it is. This is free agency for minor league football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Jason, what you going to add there?
Well, I just want to say it's mostly, I mean, whatever these kids are demanding so much because
Mm-hmm.
I think in our group chat, remember I had sent something on, wasn't sure if it was true or not, what it was
Yeah.
asking for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if stuff like that is actually going on, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, what he's referring to is this linebacker from Florida, Jake Pyburn, said this apparently was some of his guarantees: 45,000 a month, guaranteed starting position at outside linebacker, guaranteed to play on third downs, and more snaps in the rotation. Now, again, don't know if that's true, but that's out there. So, but yeah, portal season is fun. You know, for mainly for Arkansas fans because we get to meet new players and get a new team every year. You know, the amount of transfers we have is basically like a coach gets fired every year. That's the amount of transfers we have. You know, Marshall's coach just left to go to Southern Miss, and they have like 25, 26 players in the portal. You know, none of our coaches are leaving, and we got that many.
Right.
It's
Well, yeah,
just
Yeah.
I mean, we have more people transferring out than Mississippi State does, who is
yeah.
a very bottom tier team.
Who Arkansas
Kids,
destroyed.
kids are staying at Mississippi State, but kids are leaving Arkansas.
Yep. To go to Mississippi State because
Yeah.
Nico has a visit lined up at Mississippi State.
Make that make
Just
sense.
an Arkansas kid too. You know, it's not like he's I'm sure he was growing up around Arkansas and all that, but this day and age, as you know, Ashton, we teach kids they don't really care about the Razorbacks.
Well,
That's right.
I mean, look at it this way: most of these
Kids that are going into college now have never seen a good
Razorback team. I
Yeah.
mean, for most of their life,
Mm-hmm.
we have been mediocre to bad.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Six.
great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Liberty Bowl or bust.
Hey,
That's what these
I,
kids know.
I never even thought about it that way, but Jason's
Mm,
right. I mean, that most of these kids haven't seen a 10-win Razorback team.
yeah. Yeah. They've
So
seen I'm trying to think. The kids that I teach, middle school kids, were born in like 2012, 2011. So once you think back, Razorback football from 2012 to now,
It's
you
been
know,
terrible. It's been bad.
yep,
Pitiful.
yep. All right. Well, anyways, here's the. I'm just gonna go over the schedule real quick. Um, we got Alabama A&M first game, and then we got the long-awaited game with Arkansas State. Watch out, they might sneak up and get us, Bush
Good.
Jones. And
Good.
then third game is at Ole Miss. Fourth game is at Memphis, which is another interesting game, especially here at Four Star Sports, but also because Memphis is not a bad team. Memphis is consistently 9, 10 wins. Like they're good. They're one of the top teams in that group of five. And then the Fighting Irish come to town, the Catholics. So hope we treat them well. And then Tennessee, and then Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, LSU, Texas, Mizzou is the schedule. So it's not we didn't get any favors like Mizzou did with 6 straight home games, but
I mean,
you know
at least we got.
we'll
I mean, at least we do have three home games back to
yeah,
back to back.
yeah, we do, which is I saw which was very good to see.
And
So
plus no more Jerry's World, which is good to see.
yeah, we're out of the curse that is of Jerry's world. And
But
he seems to be cursing the Cowboys too. But
but that away schedule looks very brutal.
yeah, at Tennessee, at LSU, at Texas, and then at Memphis and at Ole Miss. It's not good. But all right, let's move on to let me move on to basketball real quick. All right, now I know Ashton's been upset with them. I've been upset with them too, but they did beat number 14 ranked Michigan at Madison Square Garden in the Jimmy V Classic. They were down maybe 15 points at one time early in that first half, and they came back to win. Now they were ahead by I think 15 or 14, and Michigan kind of clawed their way back in it. But Michigan, to Michigan's credit, Michigan just plays good fundamental basketball. They're not super athletic, where Arkansas kind of depends on their how athletic they are. But yeah, it's a good Michigan team coached by Dusty May.
Heck
So
yeah. And you
yeah,
know what? Dusty May built that team essentially
hmm
through the portal,
yeah,
and you could tell. And I agree. They were talking about Danny Wolf, the big kid that was just tearing us up, man.
yeah,
Danny Wolf. All right, that's a name. I'm gonna tell you right now. That's a name that no Razorback fan is gonna forget anytime soon.
no,
But they were talking about him on the radio, um, and most people that watch him agree that they would be shocked if he was not a first round draft pick.
oh yeah, he's good.
And Michigan, man, they've got the tools to be a really good basketball team. I think they actually are picked to win the conference, the Big Ten.
Hmm.
So I mean, they're pretty dang good.
Yeah,
So for us to go to Madison Square Garden to come back from down whatever 16,
yeah, hmm
and
it
then
was.
we were up
Mhm.
18 and tried to give the game away. But
Yeah,
give a lot of credit to, as Coach Cal said, give a lot of credit to Brazil, who missed 2 free throws, comes back, gets a massive
yeah,
block
hmm
because they hadn't missed many from that range all night long,
yeah,
and
hmm
gets that block, gets the rebound, goes down, shoots 2 more, misses one. But you know, eh, you can breathe just a little bit when it's a 2 point game, not a lot. But
yeah,
what I'm going to tell you, what does Arkansas need to finish games? What is Arkansas, so like we were up by 18? What do we need to
yeah.
put just throttle down and finish? I think personally, we desperately need Nelly Davis to just be a little more assertive. Uh,
Yeah.
just shoot the
Hmm.
rock, man. You miss,
Yeah.
whatever. Keep shooting.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah. He
we know
shot
you're a good ball
two
player.
of eight. Yeah, he shot two of eight. He played 32 minutes and shot the ball 8 times.
He's got to shoot it at least 10 times a
Oh,
night.
We got breaking news here. Oregon offensive line transfer Shaq McCroy has committed to the Hogs.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very good. Very
So
good. So, big name guy. That's the guy that we were looking at. Um,
yeah, all right, we're gonna let's transition back to. Hold on. All right, going back here. All right, so here we go. Breaking news: Oregon offensive line transfer Shaq McCroy has committed to the Hogs. I think if I remember, the Razorbacks were after him during his high school commitment process. I'm trying to. That name sounds familiar, but I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna look some stuff up real quick, but yeah, that's a big time get for especially our offensive line that have been you know decimated basically
yes.
by the transfers.
Yeah. I'm gonna look that up real quick. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it was a kid that we were recruiting out of high school.
yeah. It's from Alabama, 6'8". Now this is 24/7 Sports. I'm sure he's lost weight since because this is probably his high school profile, but it says 6'8", 375. But I don't. I'm sure. I mean, if he can play at 375, more power to him. But he is. I mean, he's named Shaq for a reason.
Big kid.
Yeah,
Big kid. Yeah,
yeah. As a
we're gonna need some people. We're gonna
yeah,
need depth. That's where we were
yeah,
struggling at this past year is
uh
depth on the offensive line. So
yeah,
hopefully we can get some
yeah,
guys that can fill in the gap whenever someone goes down
mhm,
because it's inevitable. Guys go
yeah,
down. You need someone to step up.
yeah.
But man, how many times did he change the rotation and line of our
I know.
offensive line this year?
Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah, it was like a what we call it. It's like rearranging the seats on the Titanic. It's we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's funny.
So this was his top schools was Oregon, Colorado, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Ole Miss. So he visited Arkansas on June 9th during his recruitment process. He was recruited by Cody Kennedy, so he's obviously not here anymore. So, but yeah,
Where did he end
so
up going, Blake?
to Oregon.
No, where did Cody Kennedy end up
Oh,
going to?
oh, Mississippi State.
Dang, wonder how they did this year.
They could not run the ball. I can tell you that.
I got a question.
Uh,
Why does he want to go from Oregon to Arkansas?
well, I think just because we, I'm sure Pittman was in on the recruitment process, and he probably knows Pittman a little bit, so he's familiar. And Pittman is I mean, he was. I'm not. He's not the O line coach anymore, but he was a decent O line coach. So I don't know. Maybe that, and possibly some NIL monies in there too from Wright's Barbecue or something,
Yeah,
some type of NIL deal. But anyways, that was so. Hey, it's fine. It's finally good news. It's not. You know, it's not all bad right
yeah,
now. But yeah, but going back, like you said, the Hogs basketball team, they do need a closer. When our point guards are true freshmen, so I don't want to put it all on a true freshman.
yeah.
So, um,
Boogie has really stepped up to the plate for us this year, and he's a tough kid. New York, uh, from the Bronx, I think, is where he's from, and I want to say as a freshman, he's averaging 16 to 18 a game, which
mhm.
is which is pretty impressive for a true freshman. And he's not like a 6'5" true freshman either. He's 6'2" and special entrance from oh yeah, you got to know it.
The kid,
The 247
midnight.
mascot. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, yeah. So Boogie's really stepped up, and it's good to see. Adu, man, I want Adu to be
Yeah,
so much better than what you
Mhm.
know he
yeah,
has the ability, but he just looks a step slow right now. He
yeah,
did play better against
yeah,
Michigan. Great minutes against them,
yeah.
and
And flu
Flu
was sick too.
wasn't
Yeah,
feeling well.
yeah.
Uh,
So
I think Big Z wasn't feeling well either, or something.
no, yeah. He has that ankle that he injured his ankle in practice a couple weeks ago. He only put in 8 minutes. Big Z did, but was he was in those 8 minutes. He shot the ball from 3 point land 3 times, and he made one
But
of them, a key one.
Well, I mean, Brazil was playing better
The
than
helm, anyways.
Yep,
That game.
yep, yeah. Brazil, he had that huge block. Now, Coach Cal said it was his fault. He said he shouldn't have had Brazil get the ball in that inbounds play, knowing
Yeah.
Brazil's not the best free
Right.
throw shooter. So Coach Cal said that was on him, not on Brazil.
Yeah.
But yeah, Boogie Boogie didn't shoot the ball well. He was 6 of 18, ended up with 20 points, but he's a freshman. He's going to learn. It was good to see them kind of gel. I'm not saying they're gelling, but they're getting there of playing as a team. And this is without Rich. I don't know what's wrong with Richmond. He didn't really play much at all. Young
Yeah. I
young
don't.
freshman.
I was going to ask you that the other day. I didn't. I don't remember
Hmm.
seeing Billy Richmond. And if
Yeah.
he was in there, I don't think he was in there at all. I could be wrong.
Well, he's in the box score. He played 1 minute according
1
to
minute.
the so.
Yeah. I don't. I didn't understand what that was for. But maybe Cal just thought Boogie
Mm,
was the better option. Um, but I'm not really sure.
mm,
In Cal's defense, Boogie was playing good.
mhm.
Um, uh, oh my gosh, DJ was
Yeah,
playing really
DJ.
well as well
Yeah.
too. So yeah,
Mhm,
I don't really know if there was much of a reason to take him out. And, when Nelly comes out, Nelly's kind of like that in between. It's kind of like that combo guard.
mhm.
And Billy Richmond, I don't think Billy Richmond really fits the combo guard, although he's about 6'5".
Yeah.
But he's not the better shooting option in comparison
Yeah.
to what Nelly can do. So I'm not. I
Yeah.
guess I'm not totally surprised he didn't play as many minutes.
Mhm.
I guess it just wasn't a fit.
Yeah. I think the makeup of this team is going to be if Brazil and Big Z can get at least 10 points apiece off the bench. And if Nelly's got to play like he was recruited to play. He was the number one portal uh, transfer in the nation. So now I don't. He's had a wrist injury and all that, but you're playing like you're well enough to play. You need to make your shots, and sometimes he never touches the ball. He just goes in the corner and stands there, and not much happens. But Hogs play in Little Rock this weekend, UCA, which there's a player from UCA, Wilson, that you
Yes,
you coached against.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Lane Taylor,
yeah,
uh, Coach Taylor's son. So I remember watching him. He was actually playing in the junior high conference tournament. Uh, I don't even know at this point I was still coaching basketball or not, but I remember
yeah,
him coming up, and I think I was sitting at the scorer's table, or maybe I was doing the
yeah,
announcing or something,
yeah. Hmm.
and watching this kid in a junior high basketball game put up like 30 points, carry his team
Hmm.
to a conference championship. Dude, he was only like 5'8", 5'7",
Hmm.
and he just was a step ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And I think he's averaging, I heard that he's
Oh
averaging
yeah.
like 15, 16 points a game
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
UCA.
As a
And
true
that's
freshman.
impressive. Kid can shoot. Kid
Hmm.
can get to the rim, and he's basketball smart. I
Yeah.
can tell you this: his dad was a really, really good coach,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he just knew how to coach. And I could be wrong. He may still be at Farmington coaching basketball. He may be doing something
Yeah.
different
He
now.
should be. Yeah.
But
He should be.
man, he was a good coach. He really
Yeah.
was.
No, Johnny Taylor.
Johnny Taylor. That's correct.
Yes, sir. But hopefully I don't know if you call it the bank, but the Simmons Bank Arena will be packed. Something will go wrong, as me and
Always.
Jason know. Shot clock won't be working and all that. And hey,
Well,
I've
I
been
think what was it last year was the lights. It took what,
yeah,
30, 40 minutes to warm up after they cut
yeah.
them off.
Like, come on, we're in the day and age of LED lights. Let's they don't have to warm up, right? But I guess they do at Simmons Bank Arena. Um, that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
They were like, turn the lights off for the player intros, and like, oh, they got to warm up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, so
funny.
it's a pretty easy schedule coming up for the Hogs. So hopefully they can get healthy before they play number one ranked Tennessee conference play. So
We'll
SEC
see.
has Coach Cal. Coach Cal. I don't know if you've seen that video. He's like, woof, woof, woof. That's what he feels about the ACC right now. It's
Woof,
tough.
woof, woof. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, because Mizzou beat Kansas this week in basketball, and it's you talk to any national reporter, it is it's going to be a 10 to 12 bid league uh, come tournament time.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, what is y'all's thoughts on the CFP? Just basically, did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? What changes should they make? I think personally they probably got it right based off of how they rank teams. I don't think SMU should have got punished for losing. I mean, they almost won. They that 56-yard field goal, if they miss it, would have went to overtime. But I think they got it right. Bama, South Carolina, Ole Miss. You can't lose 3 times in a year, like, and expect to be mad. Do I think those 3 teams are better than SMU? Yes, but they have to look at their whole schedule.
Uh, I think you definitely don't punish a team that's playing in their conference championship unless that team playing in the conference championship
Yeah,
picked up their third or fourth loss.
yeah,
I think that's the
mhm,
only way. And even then, you got to look and see who their 3 or 4 losses were to. I'm sorry, Bama just didn't deserve to be in. Ole Miss didn't deserve to be in. The teams that deserve to be in are in. The only
yeah,
one. There's only one team, Blake, and you probably know who I'm going to say that I think had a chance at sneaking in, and I think maybe should have snuck in. And who do you think I'm talking
mm,
about?
South
Mm,
Carolina.
yeah, South
Yeah,
Carolina.
I mean they have an argument because they beat Clemson at Clemson, and
Yeah,
Clemson is the ACC. I mean they do have a legit argument.
they won at the right time.
Yeah,
People can go back and look at the past, look at their schedule and who they lost to, but
mhm,
I think they beat the right team at the right time, which gives
yeah,
them a good argument.
yeah,
But um, when we're talking about the college football playoff, I've always thought, especially now in the age that we're playing in, where you got the transfer portal and everything like that, and people are opting out of bowls. I've always thought that the only people that should get bowls are the top 25 teams or the top 30. Let's say top 30. That would mean there's 60 teams playing,
mm,
and you've got how many bowls?
too many.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
now at that point you've got 30 bowls,
uh-huh.
all right,
Mhm.
and in those 30 bowls, you've got teams playing that I believe are what I would refer to as relevant. Okay, so you've got the top 60 teams technically playing.
Yeah,
Everybody after that, if 60, number 61, I'm sorry, you don't
yeah,
qualify for a ball. I don't care if you're 6-6. I don't
yeah,
care if you're 7-5. If you're 61st, you don't qualify, and
yeah.
that's just the hard part. But we are trying to sell to people that these games are meaningful.
Mhm.
You know, these are meaningful games. No, they're not.
Yeah. Well, they're
They
meaningful
used to be.
because the university gets paid. Like if the bowl's right and travel plans don't take a lot of your budget, you do get paid to go to these bowl games. But
Yeah,
other than that, it's not really worth it to go. But
yeah,
I just hate how Oregon has probably one of the toughest routes to the championship, even though they're ranked number one. Um,
yeah.
but that's the way it happened. I mean, there's nothing they can do about it. And their coach kind of he wasn't complaining. He was just like, all right, it's college football, like let's roll. You know. But I'm really rooting for Arizona State. I really really
I am
really
too,
like their
man.
coach.
I really am. I am too. I really like
Uh,
them.
Boise, the underdog. You know, I'd like to see them win. But if Oregon wins, I'm happy with Oregon winning too because I like Lanning too. I mean, there's not many teams I hate in this playoffs. I mean, it's going to be some interesting matchups with Tennessee going to Ohio State. How would the SEC travel in December? Which I think they're going to travel well because Tennessee can run the dang ball. They can run it with Sampson. Ryan Day's playing for or coaching for his job right now.
He is. He
Yeah.
is. I think so.
All right. Well, anything else before we get off here and check out some portal news and
Um, no,
tweets? And,
be sure and give one of our partners, Hogs Media, on
yeah.
Instagram.
Mhm.
Follow. They come out with some great content. They do a good job staying on top of
Mhm.
recruits that are incoming, recruits that are leaving the
Yep.
portal. I think they even have a Patreon page where you could get
Mhm.
news ahead of time.
Yep.
But that's Hogs Media, and if you're confused as to which site that is, when you click on their Instagram page, it should show somewhere in the realm of 14,500 followers. Pretty easy to follow, pretty easy to find at that point. But
Yeah.
give them a follow, show them some love because they really do. They do a good job, and I've
Yep.
talked with them several times. Bunch of good
Mhm.
guys that run that page over there.
Yep. Yep. We will have them on soon. It's
Yeah.
just
I
not.
spoke with them earlier. A
Yeah.
couple of guys were
Mhm.
working this evening, and
Yeah.
but eventually, I think the plan
Yeah.
is to get them on live with us
Yeah.
and have them share their wealth of knowledge with us.
Yep. So we're excited here at Four Star for that, and but yeah, we'll be watching the first bowl games are this weekend and the Army Navy game. So college football does not stop. It's just not as many games. So,
Yeah.
but until next time, we will see y'all then.